What if I were to tell you that Jordan Brand made the absolute perfect retro to date? Would you believe me? Let's find out. Alright, so we are going to be reviewing and comparing the Air Jordan 13 playoff. Well, first the All-Star. The All-Star slash playoff Air Jordan 13. Now, the Jordan 13 was a shoe that Jordan rocked first in the 98 All-Star game. As you guys remember from The Last Dance, Michael Jordan was paired up against a budding young superstar named Kobe Bryant. It was his first NBA All-Star game, and you can see, like in The Last Dance, them two kind of going head to head, where Michael Jordan was pretty much not willing to pass the torch on to Kobe, but Kobe was there to pretty much take it. And even though he had a mediocre game, you would see like throughout his career, like he would get better and better and better, and you know it would go on from there. Or if you guys remember, Michael Jordan was also rocking these in the 98 playoffs, specifically with the Indiana Pacers, where they pretty much pushed it all the way through to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan did his thing. That's what I remember from this shoe from 98. It was also the year that I graduated high school. So, that is my age. You guys can do the math. But I do remember kids skipping school when sneakers used to release on a Wednesday to go to the mall and try to get the shoe. If not the mall, sometimes it would be like a sporting goods store like Sports Chalet or Big Five. If you guys are from the West Coast, you guys might remember some of those stores. But this is one of the shoes that definitely I saw on feed in high school, and it was just like one of those things where like, man, I really want to get those, and they look great. And being Jordan's last season with the 97-98 season, it was pretty fitting to kind of, I guess, close the book or close the chapter of a career. He wasn't planning on coming back to basketball. At that point, it was he pretty much called it a career. He was 35, 36 years old at the time, and still at the top of his game. And the Chicago Bulls just didn't renew the contract, or didn't renew Phil Jackson's contract. And so it was pretty much considered, as you guys remember with the documentary The Last Dance, as Phil Jackson coined it. But let me go ahead and give you guys a little review of the shoe up close, and then I'll go ahead and introduce the 2011 All-Star Playoff Jordan 13, as well as the original from the 97-98 season. So stay tuned. Okay, so before we review the shoes, I wanted to show you guys a cover of Slam magazine from August of 1998. So this is one of the first photos or captures that you see, a cover photo of MJ in the 98 All-Star game jersey, rocking the Air Jordan 13 All-Star. So you can kind of see the little patch here. It says 98. It's a star on his jersey. And this is one of the first times that you see MJ rocking the Air Jordan 13s, which he would later wear in the playoffs. Now, the culture is pretty much calling it the playoff Air Jordan 13, which, you can go both ways, but I look at it as both because he wore it in both. So I just wanted to give a little bit of a tidbit there with the Slam magazine. So here's the box for the 2023 Air Jordan 13. They threw it back to the original style boxes, which pretty much started with these silver boxes in 1998. Now you guys can remember that Jordan was trying to become its own subsidiary of Nike, where they wanted to be pretty much their own brand. So like in 97-98 there was a change. They did the silver boxes for the Air Jordan 13s and went all the way through. If you guys remember, the 99s, the Jordan 4s came in these silver boxes, and then they transitioned from the silver boxes to the Jordan face boxes probably around, the year 2000. So, just a simple plain silver box with Jordan's logo on the top of the lid, and then bringing it to the label here. This is the Air Jordan 13 Retro in black, true red, and white. Style number is 414571, and the color code is 062. Now you want to be able to pay attention to that 062. I'm going to go ahead and introduce to you the original box for the Air Jordan 13. You can see it's been beat up over the years. Maybe it's one of those things that Jordan Brand will probably introduce at some point with the distressing on the box. Who knows, maybe you'll get those creases. But this is the original style from back in the day. You can see here with the box label, it says the Air Jordan 13. So the numerical system probably started, maybe on the Jordan 12s. And I remember that specifically being on there. I don't remember it being on the Jordan 11s, but probably around 97, it started going with the numericals going forward. You'll see like on maybe older style shoes, maybe like on like the Jordan 5s, 6, 7s, maybe they'll do like numerical system, but it was only on the kids pairs. Maybe even some on the men's pairs, but super rare to find that. So anyways, this is black, true red, and white. Style number is 136002, and the color code is 061. Interesting, right? You'll see like when I compare both shoes, it won't have the same tone. So that 062 versus the 061 between the OG and the retro is going to be different. Let me show you what the 2011 looked like. And this was the box for it. This was the retro style box, where it had the Jordan on the side of the box. And then for this, here we go, the Air Jordan 13 Retro from 2011. Suggested retail price was $160 back then. The retail price for the 2023 is going to be $210. Guys, that is a $50 markup from 2011 to 2023. Or, I guess, for you guys out there that like to play into how much money it was then versus now, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. But, it is what it is. $210 for a retro these days is crazy. But we're still going, right? This is the black, varsity red, white, vibrant yellow, where the vibrant yellow is pretty much going to be what it is on the tongue with the circle patch. And then style number is 414571, and the color code here 001. So you have 001, 061, and 062. And you guys can pay attention to the color tones there when I introduce all the shoes all together. All right, so first, let's go ahead and talk about the Air Jordan 13 from 2023, the recent retro. Now, I noted in the beginning of the video, the toe is something that was just really bothering me that they couldn't get right for all the Jordan 13 retros. On this version, they did it proper. Nice and soft, smooth, what it should be. It should be the same as the rest of the upper. As you can see here, nice leather on the panels as well. The suede just beneath that, and then wrapped around with the suede on the midsole. Just a beautiful looking shoe. They got the shape right, the look right. Again, guys, these released February 18, 2023, All-Star Weekend. You guys grabbing a pair, maybe even have to double up, right? So you can see here the look of the outsole. The Jordan 13 was pretty much inspired by how Jordan played on court, which Tinker Hatfield had coined the black hat. And when he brought that up to Michael Jordan, he pretty much asked Tinker, "How did you know?" And Tinker was just baffled and was just like, "What do you mean, how did I know? My friends call me Black Cat." So it was a great shoe. 97, 98, came up into that time. There you go. With the emblem on the back, you got the Jumpman in the foreground and the 23 in the background. Always a nice look. There's the tongue patch with the circle right around the Jumpman. You guys can pretty much see like a little bit of a similarity between my logo and this one. I always thought that this one on the All-Star / playoff version was unique because it was the only Jordan 13 that had, the circle around the Jumpman, which I thought was really cool. Right there at the bottom, you can see the Jordan in yellow, which is pretty similar to what it was on the OG. And if you guys remember, sometimes they would throw like something different on the back. On this one, they don't. And it's pretty true to the OG. So sometimes it would be like 13 in Roman numerals or Jordan, which you'll see on the 2011, which it would say like Jordan in gray. But you can see it's got a nice shape to it. Pretty dope shoe. Let me go ahead and introduce the 2011s so you guys can see. I think I'll do this where I'll flip it so that you guys can see like the color variation there. But here's the 2011. You can see right off the bat the glossy look of the upper. Really not a fan of that. Synthetics all throughout. The toe, hard leather. They kept the midsole and the bottom portion of the upper in suede, which I appreciated. All throughout. Probably not my favorite shape overall. It's got the banana look to it, where it starts up at the top, it kind of slopes inward toward the top of your foot and back out like a banana. That's how people kind of talk about shapes when it comes to the culture here. On the bottom, you get a little bit more of a muted look to the red all throughout. You can see the red that they used in between the pods there. Whereas on the 2023, they brought it back with that gray look. And we'll go over the soles all throughout too. But I just wanted to point that out there. You guys can see the color differences, when we talk about the color codes on the box. So that's one important thing that you guys want to look out for. So that's that. This one has the Jordan on the toe there, and on the reverse it says Jordan in gray. There's the tongue patch with that vibrant yellow that they talk about. And the Jumpman has changed all throughout the years. I've done a video about it called Defending the Jumpman. And it just goes to show that, it's changed all throughout the years. And then finally, introduce here the OG. I mean, from what you've already seen in the video, you tell me. A lot of people hold a candle to the original as if it was its pride and true form. But, there's things over the years that they've retroed that they've probably made better from the original. And I might have to make a video about that when we talk about OGs versus retros. But, a lot of the OGs, have their negatives too. OGs aren't always the cream of the crop. Although I would say that they use better materials, back then as opposed to what they use now. But they try. Jordan Brand tries for reals. You can see the emblem there. It's pretty much seen better days. It's aged, oxidized, and cracked over time. I wanted to try and attempt to restore this where you can pretty much replace the cat eye. There's some stitching that goes around it, and you can pretty much do like an even swap with it to a newer retro. And it's pretty much like a holographic film right underneath, but you can see like the cat eye has cracked over time. But the holographic film in there is pretty intact. So the dimples there on the upper whiskers, pretty much, and then you can see like the look to it on the outsole. Not as bright as the 2023. A little bit closer to the 2011, but here you can see throughout how these look. You have more of a neon look to the emblem on the bottom, whereas it's yellow on the OG, where the Jumpman is not printed on top of the material. It's actually covered with another piece up top. The 2011 and the 2023 have the Jumpman printed on top of the bubble. Again, you got your more of like a brighter look to the 2023, a little bit more of a muted look to the 2011, and then in between those two, I would probably place this right in the middle. You decide what you guys like. If you guys like the brighter red, I think this is cool. So if this was pretty much on that, I would say, hey, awesome. You can see that the grays there are a different shade from OG to retro, where the retro there is a little bit lighter. But they've made pretty much a similarity between the carbon fiber dots between the OG and the retro. And then if you see what I mean when I introduce the 2011, you can see like the white dots are a little bit bigger on the retro versus the OG. And then comparing the 2011 to the 2023, you can see what I mean there. The insoles of each of these guys share a Jumpman, and I would take out the one that's in the OG, but let's see if I can do a B-roll here. You can see that the Jumpman there, it's a Fat Jordan Jumpman. And, you know, again, over the years, they refined the look of the Jumpman throughout the years, so it's gotten better and better. On the 2011, you can see the vibrant yellow Jumpman on the interior. So on the OG, it was red. On the 2011, it's that yellow. And then on the 2023 retro, it's back to the red Jumpman. Nicer looking Jumpman. And so there it is. It's a nice shoe. Like I said in the beginning, I feel like this is one of the most proper retros that Jordan Brand has done to date, especially when it comes to the Air Jordan 13. Alright, so that is the review and comparison of the Air Jordan 13 All-Star / Playoff. If you guys like the content, hit me with a thumbs up, share the video with your friends and family, and consider subscribing. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Take care.